Morning, Mickey.
What did you make of that game yesterday?
Oh, where do I start? Only for Ronan Flanagan. I can't believe Martin Riley missed that goal chance, you know. Him with a soccer background, I'd have expected him to keep it low on the carpet, but they blazed it over the bar. Very lucky to be able to bring on Michael Argue. Big man from the middle of the field, and him still under 21. You imagine, we got to an All-Ireland quarter-final last year, and that was without him, and without Grode McCarron and these lads. Imagine what we can do this year with them all. The night that we got the first-round victory, it was absolutely amazing. When you think about it, we haven't won a first-round game in years. 6 points from play. You can't ask for much of a better return than that. But then the missed 6. Gilson in goals was playing brilliantly. Joshua Hayes, you couldn't replace him. Rory Dunn, outstanding. Killian the Gunner, absolutely brilliant. Fergal Flanagan was probably lucky to not get a black card. He got a yellow one instead. Jeez, I tell you what, Pete McGrath was raging after it, so he was. You know, after last year reaching the All-Ireland quarter-final, sure, everyone's Samsung Galaxy tablet from 149. That's pretty damn good. But like, how's Terry Hyland going to be able to keep their heads on the ground and not let them get blown up?
Hayes Expert, Cavan and Quidhill, proud sponsors of Gaelic Football Views.
Look, at the end of the day, we got the 2 points, and isn't that all that really matters?
Yeah, we should look. I'll see you at the match later on.
I don't think I'll bother.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Gaelic Football Views on CavanTV.com, Ireland's first webmail-based TV channel. What's that all about? It's CavanTV.com, Ireland's first web TV-based TV channel, which has been viewed in 220 countries worldwide and by almost 2 million people. This show is brought to you by Hayes Expert, Cavan and Quidhill. I'm Mickey Brennan.
And I'm Damien Donoghue. Remember, if you want to get in contact with the show, we'd be delighted to hear from you. You can email us at GaelicFootballViews@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook by searching Gaelic Football Views.
You can.
Or you can follow us on Twitter at GaelicFV. On tonight's show, we have all the results from the last 7 days.
I'm just going to put up on Facebook that we're actually live on time.
On time.
Live on time.
Almost. Within a minute of it, thanks to Dave and his organisation. It's amazing when Brian's not around to annoy you that you can get so much more done. But anyway, on the show tonight, we have all the results from the last 7 days. We have the upcoming fixtures. We'll be discussing the appointment of the new Cavan minor manager.
Oh, yeah.
We'll also be filling in the viewers on the Castlerahan affair and how it's moving on. We have another success story from Cavan people overseas in the GA World. And finally, we'll be talking briefly about yesterday's All-Ireland final between Donegal and Kerry.
We will indeed, absolutely. But
first off, we're going to start off with the minor championship results.
Yeah, and in the Farnham Arms Hotel, Farnham Arms Hotel, Minor A Championship Playoff. This is worse than you last week.
It is, I tell you.
Farnham Arms Hotel, Minor A Championship Playoff. Crusherlaw were taking on Lara. And this one ended up with a Lara win by the smallest of margins. It was 3 goals and 14 points. That's 23 points to Crusherlaw's 2 goals and 16 points, which is 22. So it's a 1 point win for Lara. Looks like a cracker of a game.
Yeah, it definitely sounds good. And two teams that are to the fore of underage football in Cavan at the minute. So I'd say that was a cracking game. High scoring and lots of goals. 5 goals across.
Well, and a term that you're going to hear plenty tonight. Yes. Goals win games, and it was the goals that Lara got that won the game for them.
Exactly as we were tweeted last night.
Yep.
Goals win games.
And
they win big ones too.
Yep.
The second game in the Farnham Arms Hotel Minor B Championship, this was a quarter final, and that was between Killigarry and Ballyhaise. Killigarry came out convincing winners here. 1 goal and 17 points to Ballyhaise, 8 points. So well done to Killigarry.
Yep.
I know Ballyhaise were missing a massive player in David Brady, who'd be a huge loss to any team. So that weakened them, but Killigarry have a good minor team this year, so they'll be pushing on and hoping to win that Minor B Championship.
There's a lot of work being done in Killigarry. In the Hotel Kilmore Senior Football Championship quarter-final replay, Cavan Gales were taking on Lacken. I think this is one of our... Jeez, I better get this out. This is one of our games that we were talking about. Oh, we didn't do it, did we not? Cavan Gales won this in a scoreline of 5 goals and 9 points to Lacken's 6 points. So very convincing win there for Cavan Gales.
This show's going great, isn't it?
It is.
So
I was
far?
just where is the we were supposed to have
the predictions
from
last
week.
I don't know if that's the right sheet. I don't know,
look.
but I think I got it right. I'm pretty sure I got it right.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Cavan Gales anyway won that convincingly. I was in at that game. Goals win games.
Yeah.
I suppose that's the number one thing you'll take out of it. Like, Cavan Gales went into a 3-point lead. Lacken came back, drew level. Finn O'Reilly basically came back, drew level. He scored 3 points. And then Declan Meehan, who had an absolutely outstanding game, brilliant again, took on a run straight through the heart of the Lacken defence. And I think it was young Finnegan, the fullback, came out, met him with a good now, big challenge. Looked like he was trying to go shoulder to shoulder, but I think Meehan turned at the last minute trying to spin him, but the collision was kind of on the body, no malice in it. But anyway, Meehan was shocked by it, was falling to the ground, but had the wherewithal to be able to spin and lay off to Robert Maloney Derham, who just cleaned straight in 13 metres out and pinged the ball to the back of the net for the opening goal. And from that, really, Cavan Gales never looked back. The second goal came from a mistake with Lacken coming out of the fence, turned over ball. Mickey Ling turned over the ball and created a 3v2 with Declan Meehan to his right, and he just waited till the right minute to give it to Declan Meehan, and he coolly finished to the back of the net. So that was big blow for Lacken before half-time. They came out after half-time and scored a couple of points and looked like they were going to make a game of it. And then the goal of the match, the move of the match was Niall Murray tearing out of the fence with the ball, looked up way over to his right-hand side, about 40 yards away was Mickey Ling in acres of space, so he gave a cross-field ball to Mickey Ling out on his left-hand side. Then Mickey Ling, the whole defence basically shifted over to look and attracted towards the ball, and Paul Graham ghosted in behind. Mickey Ling played a complete cross-field ball from outside the 45 on the opposite sideline to the stand to about 20 metres out, pretty much, coming in off the stand, that sort of a run. And Graham finished to the back of the net low and hard, and just absolutely beautiful move. Cavan Gales looked very good, I have to say. Yeah. Very impressed with them. They really clicked, and they nullified the threat of Raymond Galligan. He didn't really get into the game at all. They controlled midfield, absolutely dominated. Dominic Riley and Robert Maloney Derham were in complete control in the middle of the field, and Levi Murphy had a very good game there as well. Probably himself and Niall McKiernan were lucky not to be sent off in the first half. It was a ratty game now. There was a lot of off the ball incidents. It brought up the question. I personally think we have to get away from the dugout being on the far side of the field, because Packy Smith was telling me as a linesman over there it was a nightmare. In a tight, hard-hitting game, championship quarter-final, both sets of management, supporters, or not supporters but subs, committee members, were all on top of each other and arguing and fighting and pushing and shoving. And
whereas if you bring them back over to the stand side,
they're in behind the barrier
in the stand.
That's it. And I'll tell you, even from a managerial point of view, it's easier to be able to just deal with the game when the subs are taken away from you, they're in behind you, and everybody else bar your management team is up beside you. Like, it's far easier to be able to just control what you want to control. So I'd hope that maybe going forward they'll look at that in the county board. But well done to Cavan Gales, and commiserations to Lacken, because they're not as bad as that scoreline made it look, in fairness to them. But they have lots of talent coming through. They ended up with Paul Leddy couldn't start. He's a minor, and he had a great game in the drawing match. But they ended up with 4 minors on the field. So the future's bright for these lads. The same night we had another game.
We did indeed.
I'll let you go.
All right then. The relegation semi-final between Killashandra and Red Hills took place as well, and Killashandra came out victorious in this one. It was a scoreline of 2 goals and 13 points to Red Hills 1 goal and 10. By all accounts, from what I heard, Red Hills were very poor on the evening, but Killashandra were full value for their win.
Yeah, disappointing for Red Hills though. Killashandra, the man sent off after 15 minutes, and still throughout the hour they couldn't get ahead of Killashandra. So it was very disappointing, I'm sure, from Red Hills' point of view. They didn't really click, but
Killishandra just battled and kept on going and didn't give up at any point. So like, it's a credit to Killishandra, because all the players that they've lost in the last year through emigration and whatnot, you know, a lot of clubs would fold under that, but not Killishandra. They've maintained their status as senior club for 2015, and we congratulate them on that.
We do indeed.
The Hotel Kilmore Intermediate Championship quarter-final replay took place this Saturday night in Kingspan Breffni Park between Shercock and Belturbet. The trilogy.
Yeah.
Like all good things, you've got The Godfather came in trilogies. Lord of the Rings came in trilogies. There's bound to be more trilogies.
Go on.
Rocky came in 5s, but they didn't get quite that far. But it was
Jaws 3 was a great movie.
I'll take your word for it.
It was.
I'll take your word for it. But this was the third of the trilogy between Shercock and Belturbet, and again, it didn't let down with entertainment value. It was I have to say, the more I see Shercock, the more I'm thinking there could be an intermediate this year on them, because when I seen them the first day against Lara, I thought they were a million miles off it. But they're starting to get the running game going, quick hands, running off the shoulder, short passing, and you know, they look dangerous when they're on the ball.
Well, like, Killian Clark was awesome at midfield, so he was absolutely brilliant. He was catching ball, feeling ball, he was running at the defence, he was taking them on, he kicked some fantastic frees.
Yeah.
Turnovers
Turnovers
as
for
well.
me, the amount of times he just stripped possession from Belturbet was brilliant.
It was the one thing about it was a very exciting game, and it was a cracking game of football in that there was no sweepers.
No,
there was no sweepers. Both teams played a lot of football in the middle of the field and left 2 forwards and 2 backs in their defence or in their forward line. Yeah. And there was a lot of early ball kicked in to the forward line, and that's why we got such a cracker of a game. And Belturbet, in fairness, they probably feel aggrieved. They had a great goal. They scored a great goal just with about 3 minutes to go when they were 4 points down. A fantastic goal. I can't remember the name of the number 15.
Stuart Dunn.
Long ball into him, took it on over towards the terrace side of Breffni Park, running away from goal. And as he caught it, he turned on the 21 towards the 13-metre line, got by his man. His man tugged his jersey, and just as he tugged his jersey, he got away from him and buried the ball in the far corner of the net. That would have put a point between the sides, but unfortunately the referee had blown the whistle as the tug happened and never gave the advantage. It was a shame not to see the advantage rule used in that occasion.
But and it's completely unfortunate, and you know, you'd feel for Belturbet, you definitely would, but once she had the whistle blown,
she couldn't do that.
She couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
She couldn't do anything. And I would say Maggie Farley was refereeing, and I would say she'd say herself, you know, had she taken a half a second to think about it, she wouldn't have blown it. Yeah. But it was just a reaction, and unfortunately, it was a reaction that cost Belturbet the goal. But
Shercock were full value for the win.
They were, in fairness to them. Now, Niall Clerkin, or Ryan Clerkin, scored 3 points from open play. Niall Clerkin got a goal and 2 points, 1 from a free. Killian Clark, a goal and 5 points, a penalty and 5 frees. Like, you know, but it was good to see Jo got 2 goals in the game early on in it. Bud Fitch him and Jo both done a Peter Canavan.
Yep.
Came off and came back on again. So but Belturbet did turn the tide this year, in fairness. Like, remember playing them last year, and you'd have feared for them to stay in intermediate. They were that bad, but they've improved. They've come on a lot this year. And what Jo has done is he's brought on young names like the likes of Niall Lawler, Stuart Dunn there. You know, Mark Lawler in the back there. They have good young fellas there. So, you know, Belturbet will be all right, and there will be an intermediate in them boys in the next few years. I've no doubt.
Definitely, if they can keep a few of the older boys as well, though.
That's it. It's key. Yeah. You have to have the balance.
In the Hotel Kilmore Junior Football Championship semi-final, Cornafane were taking on Arva in a local derby. This was played in Breffni Park, wasn't it, on Saturday evening. And Arva came out victorious in this one on a scoreline of 2 goals and 11 points to Cornafane's 2 goals and 10. A 1 point victory for Arva. I didn't make it into that one, Damien. You?
No, well, we were training.
That's right.
We were training, so neither of us made it into that one. From what I was told, Cornafane got a goal in the last few minutes to bring them back within a point of it, but Arva were full value.
How did Johnny McCabe do this week?
4 points, I think.
4 points.
4 points from play. Outstanding performance, I was told again.
Kevin
Boucher played very well. I can't remember exactly what he scored. Maybe I might have cogged it down. Kevin Boucher, Jonathan McCabe scored 4 points, three from play and 1 freeze. Kevin Boucher scored a goal and 3 points, 3 frees. Peter Morris got a point. Connell Shorten got 3 points. I think that's all of Arva's scores. Although I'm looking for the second goal. Don't know who got the second goal. I didn't obviously cog that one. Barry Doyle on the 40 for Cornafane got 6 points, 4 frees and 2 from play. Again, Cornafane all year long, their half forward line, Porrick Tully, Barry Doyle and Jerry Shorten have
all
been
getting on the score
getting on the score sheet, and got again there tonight or on Saturday night. Jack Wharton scored a point there, and Liam Dignan got another one for Cornafane. But Cornafane they're a very young team. There's a lot of youth in that team, and
there's a lot of football to come from Cornafane yet.
Yeah, exactly.
They're tough as well, so they are.
That's it, and they will. They have a couple of lads. I think Cian Gagan is over in Scotland most of the time. So they have a couple of lads that are away that if they get them back, Cornafane will be pushing on. And then they have a good under 16 team this year that they might get a player or two out of that to push on.
Just on the results so far, I was going to just gloss over and say nothing, but you picked Shercock in the intermediate. I picked Belturbet. In the junior, you picked Arva. I picked Cornafane. And the reason for all that was because I was losing by 3 points and I was trying to catch up on you, so I was.
And there's not a hope of you catching me now.
Not now, I don't think. I'll need the next 3 results to go my way, and I know the next one didn't. So if you want to read,
we'll move on to the next one. It was the Hotel Kilmore Junior Championship semi-final between Shannon Gales and Ballymacue, and the lads from Ballymacue came out on top here. 1 goal and 12 points to 1 goal and 9.
Yeah, you picked Ballymacue.
I did pick Ballymacue, and you picked Shannon Gales. Yeah. But listen, I'm not one to gloat. But Ballymacue were full value for the
Were they, yeah?
They were definitely full value. But it was kind of predictable. Like, anybody who knows anything about football really knew that was going to happen. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
well, I'll tell Kieran Fitzpatrick that now. So
I know, actually, probably the turning point in that game, and I thought it was going to be very close, and it turned out to be close. But Niall McHugh, midfielder, it is Niall, yeah. He played against us in a challenge match and was outstanding, and he was unavailable, which was a big loss to them. Now Eamon Riley played, which I didn't expect. Eamon scored 2 points, 2 brilliant points actually. He was absolutely class, I thought, inside. But the big thing that happened was Jason McLaughlin got done a hamstring or pulled up injured anyway early in the second half, and that pretty much nullified the threat. Like they struggled after that. Ballymacue really pushed on. But
where did Nevin O'Donnell play?
He wore number 12 and played sort of out around the middle of the field, playing as a wing half forward, but coming out and getting involved in the middle of the field. I personally would have liked to see him a wee bit closer to goal, but he still got 3 points from play. So he was getting up and down. He seemed to pull something. He was limping towards the end of the game as well. So that was a big loss. Aidan Kernan for midfield for Ballymacue was absolutely phenomenal. Some of the fielding was brilliant, rising above lads, and he's a big strong man, but some of his catching and use of ball was brilliant, absolutely class to watch. Liam Goldrick Buchanan was again very effective, scored 2 points. I'm going to start calling them Buchanan points, because when somebody gets a ball and just decides I'm going to go and get a point here and doesn't change their mind and forces the point, that's a Buchanan point from now on, because he done that twice.
It's a beautiful Buchanan point.
It's a beautiful Buchanan point. So that's we're going to coin that phrase after Liam Buchanan.
Hashtag beautiful Buchanan.
Yes. But I'll tell you what, it's set up again for the meeting now in the junior final between Arva and Ballymacue. Ballymacue beat them in the group of death first round.
That's right.
Earlier on. So Arva will be out for revenge. Arva in their second final in a row. It's set up brilliantly. Yeah. It's going to be an absolute
and let's hope for a cracker from like the last year's junior final, because that was a brilliant game.
Absolutely brilliant. And I actually believe we're going to get a cracker this year again. So well done to Ballymacue and to Arva for getting to the final. Commiserations to Shannon Gales and Cornafane. But well done in getting to the semi-final. It's an achievement to be at the business end of the championship.
Damien, there's no moral victories.
There's always moral.
There's no moral victories.
You're right.
So there's not. Those lads are going to be hurting, and then you've been patronising, saying, "But well done for getting to the semi-final."
Nah, that's not patronising. I wouldn't be patronising. The Hotel Kilmore Senior Championship, we're going on to the fixtures now, and this is the Senior Championship relegation game, and that's between ourselves, Drumley and Den, and it's taking place in Ballina at 2:30 on Saturday afternoon, with the losers of that game going forward to play Red Hills.
And in the Senior Championship semi-final, Cucullins are down to play Cavan Gales at 8 p.m. on Saturday evening as well. So
that's in Kingspan Breffni Park, and I've just been informed this evening that there will be full live commentary of that game on Northern Sound.
Excellent.
So tune in, all you abroad. You've got the app, you've got the website.
Who's doing the commentaries?
I believe it's me.
What?
I believe it could be you. It's one of us. It's definitely one of us.
We could do a half each.
We could do a half each, and then get the people to come in and tell us who is better.
Yeah, we could have a public vote.
Indeed.
Whoever loses gets sacked.
No, exactly. On Sunday evening, then the last of the quarter-finals is down. That's Mullahoran against Ballina, and that's fixed for 7 o'clock in Kingspan Breffni Park. It's on Sunday evening, and it's a provisional fixture. So it's obviously waiting on the Castlereagh outcome to see what happens.
Did we discuss the Castlereagh outcome?
We'll discuss it later in the show. That's all to come. So it is. So
no problem. In the Hotel Kilmore Cavan Intermediate Championship on Sunday, the semi-final between Cootehill and Killincare will take place at 2 p.m. in Kingspan Breffni Park. So that looks like it could be a cracker of a game. We saw all the Killincare players in for the Belturbet game the other night as well.
That's right, there was a gang of them in and about. Actually, will we do predictions for next week?
We already
or
have.
Are you giving up?
No, we already have.
The Gales, Cucullins.
Okay, and the Gales, Cucullins. Oh, Jesus.
Go on, who are you going for?
The Gales. Oh, sorry, Senior. Yeah. Just while I'm writing this, you pick who you're going to go for.
I'm going to go for the Gales on the performance from Friday night.
Yeah, I was going to go with the Gales as well.
Of course you are.
Cavan Gales, Damien. And Damien, how much are you going to say they're going to win by?
Oh,
because we're both picking the Gales.
I'm going to say...
choose wisely.
Let me see. Oh, I think they'll go... I think Cavan Gales... I think they've massive goal threat, and I think that they could sneak in a few goals which could, extend the margin. I don't think it'll be a massive amount of scores, but I think there could be goals in that score. So for that, I'm going to go with a Gales +5.
+5?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to go Gales +6.
Oh, go the opposite end. Come on, Cucullins.
And then, which other games? Did we miss another game already?
Just a Den Drumley, which we'll refuse to put down.
Right. Okay. There was no other game. You
No, that was it. That was it. Unless Mullahoran Ballina. Sorry, Mullahoran Ballina.
Okay, Mullahoran Ballina.
I'm going to go with Mullahoran on this one.
Mullahoran. I'm actually going to go with Ballina.
Good stuff.
So we don't need to do a score on that.
We don't.
But we might have a score on it.
Why?
Just have a score. A 20.
Oh right, have a 20 on it. Oh yeah. No.
Okay.
We'll not bother. I'm not a gambling man.
Since you lost all that money the last time.
And we already done the intermediate ones last week.
We did indeed. You picked Cootehill to win by 5 in this game.
No,
by 4, sorry.
By 4, yeah,
and I picked Cootehill to win by 5.
Yes, you did.
And then the next game up, you want to call it out there, Damien?
Yeah, it was Ballyhaise against Shercock, and that's at 2 p.m. in Kingspan Breffni Park on Sunday. Sorry, it's at 3:30. The Cootehill Killincare's at 2 p.m. and that's Ballyhaise and Shercock. That's going to be a close one now for me.
Are you changing your mind then? Because you said Shercock looked like the team to go forward.
Yeah, I've more information to hand than I had last week.
Well, do you want to change your mind? Your in-laws wouldn't be too impressed.
I'm going to... I am. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to back Shercock.
I've gone for Ballyhaise. I'm not changing my mind.
I'm going to back Shercock. I think... Maybe it's once bitten, twice shy, but Ballyhaise traditionally, this time of year, something happens to them. And I just, after what I've seen from Shercock, I don't know, look at Ballyhaise, they're great lads, and I like the Ballyhaise lads, but
But I'm not going to back them.
But I'm not going to back them. I just think Shercock, they have momentum. They've games under their belt. They've like Ballyhales have been a long time waiting even on this game. So I'm worried that Ballyhales will do what Ballyhales do, and that's get afraid when they get into Breffni Park.
Just like a Buchanan pint has now become a beautiful Buchanan pint is now a term. You're actually going to say that Ballyhales are going to do a Ballyhales on it.
I didn't say that. I didn't say it. I didn't say it in those words. No, and I said I wouldn't say. I do think that this is that
Are you
this
coining
Ballyhales.
that phrase as well?
No, I'm not coining that phrase. I want nothing to do with that phrase. I want to disassociate myself from the previous comments on this show. And we're not liable.
Philip Rooney.
But I'll tell you, this Ballyhales team are an improvement. They definitely have been better, and they seem to have what they've been missing. But I don't know. It's like back in Arsenal in the Premier League. You just don't do it anymore because you've been bitten too many times. So
Ballyhales are going to do an Arsenal on it.
Yeah, I look at.
Okay. I think Ballyhales are going to win, and as you said. They seem to have something different this time, and I think the Ballyhales will the positions on the Shercock team that they need to look into, and the players on the team that they need to stop. I think that they'll be able to stop them.
You think they'll be able to stop Killian Clark?
Well, they mightn't be able to stop Killian Clark, but they'll stop the others, and I think that they'll have more strength and depth than Shercock.
Yeah.
And if they leave space. If Shercock leaves space in the full back line.
Ballyhales will tear them if they're left in space. And like you have Scotchy playing brilliant stuff there. Porrick Moore's playing very well. Kevin Tierney outstanding. Young Connaughty as well. Like Ballyhales have unearthed forwards that can score freely. Yeah. And if they're given space, forget about it.
You're not allowed changing.
No, I'm not changing. I'm not changing because I do think the Shercock backs are tight. I think they're good tight marking backs, and I don't think Ballyhales will have an easy time off it. And I think Killian Clark could just be the difference between the two teams.
Very good.
We'll see. But I wish both teams the best of luck. I do, genuinely. I do.
Such a liar, so you are. Such a liar.
No, I do. Everybody knows I have a fondness for Ballyhales. Yeah. So now we're going to catch up on things from down under. We have the St Fimbers ladies who won the Western Australia Senior Ladies Championship by beating Southern Districts. They also won the league in the mini sevens, and Laura Pearson is on that team, and she's from Cavan. She's in the photo we have coming up here now, which is the team photo before the game. There's the ladies lined out. We have them again, a following photo, one more coming up where they were celebrating with cups of coffee.
Cups of coffee.
Fair play to them.
That is how you celebrate.
That is dedication.
Winning the championship, and that is how championships are won.
That's some array of trophies, and well done to Laura and to all the St Fimbers girls. That's a wonderful achievement, and it wasn't the only silverware the club got.
It wasn't. The St Fimbers men won the Western Australia Senior Championship, beating Morley Gales. Kieran Brady from Gowna wasn't on it this year.
From the team.
From Cavan were Colin Brady from Gowna, Damien Smith Lavey, Kevin Brady of Lavely, and Gary Cooney. The photo attached, we'll see now in a second. Colin is wearing, what number is Colin's wearing number 12. Damien Smith is wearing number 9. Kevin Brady is wearing number 15, and Gary Cooney is wearing number 22.
And you can see Kieran Brady there in the back right. He's second from the end on the right hand side. Kieran is obviously son of Jerry Brady from Gowna, and he's a former Gowna footballer, to call him. I think his nickname was Junior. So this is the lads coming up here now, where they obviously had their medals around the neck and the trophy in front. So well done to all the lads. And we have then the 4 boys that were playing from Cavan. Just a quick picture of them after the game there. So the 2 lads from Lavey there, Damien and Kevin. So well done to them. In the first photo, you also have the manager of the team, who's a nephew of the great Cavan man, Martin Donoghue. He's from Dromard there. We weren't actually told what his name was. We just were told that he's from Dromard in Longford, and he's a nephew of Martin.
We'll just call him Martin Donoghue's nephew.
Martin Donoghue's nephew.
Aye.
I think that's
Cavan man's nephew.
I think that's good. But if anybody's watching the show that might know that information, they can tweet us. And
Martin is watching.
Martin, the Cavan man. The Cavan man. So that brings us to the end of part 1, but be sure to stay joined before... Start again, will you? It's contagious.
This is like
And I wrote it. I wrote it.
This is like a scene out of Bruce Almighty.
It
song,
is.
isn't
It
it?
is. Okay, we'll try again. So that brings us to the end of part 1, but be sure to join us in part 2, where we'll be revealing the Breffni All-Stars Team of the Week, as well as chatting about the Castlerahan affair, the new minor manager, and yesterday's All-Ireland football final.
Yes, so the Castlerahan affair.
Morning, Mickey.
What did you make of that game yesterday?
Oh, where do I start? Only for Ronan Flanagan. I can't believe Martin Riley missed that goal chance, you know. Him with a soccer background, I'd have expected him to keep it low on the carpet, but they blazed it over the bar. Very lucky to be able to bring on Michael Argue. Big man for the middle of the field, and him still under 21. You imagine, we got to an All-Ireland quarter-final last year, and that was without him, and without Grode McKieran and these lads. Imagine what we can do this year with them all. The night that we got the first-round victory, it was absolutely amazing. When you think about it, we haven't won a first-round game in years. 6 points from play. You can't ask for much of a better return than that. But then the missed 6. Gilson in goals was playing brilliantly. Joshua Hayes, you couldn't replace him. Rory Dunn, outstanding. Killian the Gunner, absolutely brilliant. Fergus Flanagan was probably lucky to not get a black card. He got a yellow one instead. Jeez, I tell you what, Pete McGrath was raging after it, so he was. You know, after last year reaching the All-Ireland quarter-final, sure, everyone's Samsung Galaxy tablet from 149. That's pretty damn good. But like, how is Terry Highland going to be able to keep their heads on the ground and not let them get blown up?
Hayes Expert, Cavan and Quithill, proud sponsors of Gaelic Football Views.
Look, at the end of the day, we got the 2 points, and isn't that all that really matters?
Yeah, but sure, look, I'll see you at the match later on.
I don't think I'll bother.
So this is Terry Highland, and this is Highland Hardware. We're just outside Cavan in Ballyhaise. Open early till late, 6 days a week. And as you can guess from the name, we do lots and 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 lots of hardware. All at guaranteed low prices. So if you're looking for any type of hardware, 6 days a week, early or late, at guaranteed low prices, come to Highland Hardware in Ballyhaise. It's that simple. And remember, cones are for ice cream and Highland Hardware is for value.
Welcome back to Elocutions Lessons with Michael and Damien. Today we're going to start off with something simple.
La 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 la.
Welcome back to part 2 of the show. We're going to start with the appointment of Danny Brady as the new county minor manager. Damien, Danny the Gunner, an ex-Cavan footballer and an ex-Mullahorn footballer.
I don't know if he played with Cavan. Well, he definitely played underage anyway. Definitely
did,
played underage, yeah.
Good appointment or bad appointment in your opinion?
Oh, good appointment. Good appointment. In fairness, and I'm not saying that I was obviously involved in one of the teams that were running for the job, but they were spoilt with riches for people to go for this year. But you know, Danny the Gunner and Larry Riley's involved with him, and Andy McGovern, and it's an excellent package to put together. And with the success that they had at under 16 this year, beating Dublin in the Jerry Riley tournament final, the Oldcastle tournament, and beating them so convincingly, I'd say that was a huge swing in their favour. You know, we obviously are very, very disappointed. I was a selector on Kieran Brady's team with Seamus Donoghue, who's an ex-Cavan footballer, and Finbar O'Reilly, obviously ex-Cavan footballer and current coach with the county board, and with the McRory team in St Pat's as well. But and we had Enda King actually coming in as a consultant for physiotherapy for the medical team. So we had a good team put together. We felt it was strong. It just obviously wasn't strong enough, and the county board decided to go with Danny and Larry and Andy, and John Brady was also in, Jack's father, and we all know his pedigree. Obviously an ex-Cavan player himself, but he's been so successful on the 21 level. You know, I don't think anybody could match him at on the 21 level for his record, and He's a lot of experience. He had John Young, our own club man, in, who again has a lot of experience at underage football in Cavan. So it's like there was a lot of good candidates, but Danny got the job, and you know we wish him the very best of luck.
So where did it go this year after what happened this year with our minors down in Clonus against Armagh? Very disappointing result. Where do the Cavan minor management go in getting us back to the heights that we should be at that level?
It's, you know, the funny thing is about minor, and we had this conversation with Gary when he was in, you know, you could have the best team in Ulster, but on any day, you don't know what a 17 or 18-year-old, how he's going to react to a situation. And he doesn't know how he's going to react to a situation. It's very hard for management to turn around and say, well, we've got the correct formula. What personally I think that they will be doing is they'll be breathing confidence into these lads, telling them that they can go out and compete and win an Ulster title. They're good enough, and they know they're good enough. It's just about getting the preparation and making sure that there's no friction between any of the schools, whether it be Virginia, St. Pat's, St. Brickens, Ballygym stuff, it doesn't matter. Whatever school it is, that if they go far in a competition, it needs to be encouraged by the county minor management. It would be the way I'd see it. And, you know, I think the Kerry minors proved that in Kerry now, they have the Hogan Cup and they have the Minor All-Ireland in the 1 year. So they should go hand in hand, that if you have a good college team going all the way or going far in any competition, then therefore you should be able to get a good county minor team out of it. And I think that that's the way to go, not to compete against each other, but pool resources together and get everybody working together.
It's funny because I remember in the 90s and in the early noughties when Meath football was going well, and when Meath were winning and getting to All-Ireland minor finals as well. They were also doing well. St. Pat's of Navan were doing very well in the Hogan Cup as well. You know, and it really is. It's kind of a benchmark, and you can see how good your teams are at that level, and how good your players are at that level before they come back into the minor team. You know, that kind of way. So I do think it's a great way of gauging the players, and as we said, breathing confidence into them, playing against the top minors in the country at schools level. You know, all around the country, and beating them, and then knowing that when they meet them again, that they have the
confidence. That's exactly it. So, like, I think that that's something that, listen, Danny's a shrewd manager, and you know he will know. People will learn from the mistakes of last year, and not that there was, you know, there was nobody to blame. I wouldn't think with last year. It was just a new situation that Cavan had never dealt with before. Really, well, maybe way back in the 70s or 60s, Cavan had dealt with it. But you know, when St. Pat's McGrory team hasn't been going well, hasn't got to a quarter final in donkey's years, so it was a brand new problem. There's teething problems with that, but lessons will be learned from that, and Danny, Larry and Andy will know how to bridge those gaps this year coming, and I think that we will see.
Just as you mentioned, Larry, obviously Larry as a footballer, absolutely amazing. You know, for club and county, he was a great footballer. I was talking to someone recently, and they've been watching Larry as a manager, and they've been watching him as a coach, and they said he's second to none. So, you know, and the work he's doing over in Knockbride at the minute is absolutely fantastic as well. I think it's a great appointment to have him in there. The players will all know his pedigree as a footballer as well. Yeah. But if he's as good as I've been told he is, well then, you know, that's an absolutely huge thing.
The only measure that I would have of Larry as a manager is seeing this year's Knockbride under 16s. And if that's anything to go by, then his pedigree. Because he had them playing lovely football. Smallish team, they weren't physically very good, physically very big, but ability, they were brilliant. And fitness, work ethic, you know, absolutely second to none. So and his moves along the line probably won them that Division 2 title earlier on in the year. So they went up into Division 1, and you know, I think they got a draw. They might have got a draw against Crushlaw, or came very close to beating Crushlaw, who had never been beaten. So, you know, Larry, and do you know what, that can be key too, because you could have a senior manager who might be brilliant senior manager, but mightn't necessarily get the kids at that age.
Yes, exactly.
So he has proven with McBride that he can obviously motivate them kids, and Danny has proven with the under 16s that he can motivate them kids. So you know that probably was maybe another reason that it went that way with them. So like, look, it's a good appointment. I definitely have to say it's a good appointment, and you know,
best of luck.
As disappointed as we are, we do wish them very, very good luck.
Of course, and we'll all be behind them.
Exactly.
Wherever the championship takes them next year, we'll be there.
Exactly. So now we have the presentation of the Cavan Ladies Player of the Year or Players of the Year for 2014.
Yep.
The first one up there, just about to come up on your screen, is Lisa O'Brien, who's the Cavan PRO, presenting shorts and a bag to Caoimhe McDermott from Lochúchtar Gaels, the winner of the Senior Player of the Year.
Yeah, well done to Caoimhe. And in the
Player of the Championship, sorry.
Yeah, and the second picture there is also of Caoimhe, and that is Caoimhe receiving from Mary Daly, the Cavan Ladies Secretary, presenting socks and gloves to Caoimhe McDermott of Lochúchtar Gaels for winner of the Senior Player of the Championship. So well done to Caoimhe.
And then the third photo is Lisa O'Brien presenting a sports kit to Saoirse O'Reilly of Mount Nugent Ladies, winner of the Junior Player of the Championship for the Cavan Championships, Ladies Championships. The Cavan Ladies would like to extend a special thanks to the sports shop in Cavan for sponsoring the gloves, the shorts, the socks, and also thank all who voted during the championship campaign.
Yeah, that was it was all done by public vote. So
yeah, we were highlighting it on the show each week here, so it was great to see that. And
we didn't get the intermediate player of the championship. I'll be getting on to Lisa and
having words. Mickey's going to be getting on to you, Lisa.
I'm going to be having words with you, Lisa.
Getting on to you.
You know, you gave me the senior and you gave me the junior. There's no junior B there either. No. Jesus, that's a half-arsed attempt.
I know, I'm sure. Sure that all seem to be taking place in Killincare, so I'm sure there's a reason for photographs. But well done to Caoimhe and to Laura, was it? Have to go back. Caoimhe and Saoirse. Good man. Thanks for digging me out of that one, Mickey.
You dig your own holes, buddy. But I'll get on to Lisa, and hopefully if there was an intermediate and junior B player of the year, we'll get those up as soon as well. Now, Damien, we talked about it earlier on, we mentioned it very briefly earlier on, was the Castlerahan affair. You like to call it the Castlerahan affair. That sounds like a...
I do. It sounds like a dirty novel.
It sounds like a dirty novel, so it does all right.
Dirty book.
Yeah, the Castlerahan affair. How it all went down in Ballyjane stuff.
The latest update from the Castlerahan situation in the Senior Championship is that the Ulster Council have upheld the referee's report and thrown out Castlerahan's appeal. So Castlerahan received word back on Friday that on Friday evening, I think it was, that Ulster Council had thrown that out. So they are now in the process of getting some legal advice, because their next option, their next avenue is to go to the DRA.
With the Castlerahan affair?
DRA. But they can bring it to the DRA, which is initially €1,000 deposit, and then if you lose it, the costs can run up anything up as high as, I've told, €15,000
for the Castlerahan affair.
For the Castlerahan affair, yes.
Really?
Yeah, apparently 15,000. So I was talking to somebody from Castlerahan this evening who told me that they could only bring it to a solicitor this morning to have a look at the whole situation and see if it's worth their while to go. It's a lot of money that potentially a club could be losing, or so they have to make a decision. They have until Friday evening to make that decision.
Okay.
So it's up to then the committee in Castlerahan to decide what way they're going to go. But it's held up the championship 2 weeks, so hopefully it's resolved soon.
Exactly, and then hopefully they'll resolve the Castlerahan affair.
Brilliant. That was brilliant. Well done.
So anyway, look, that is the Castlerahan affair sorted. the big thing, the big talking point of the weekend was the All-Ireland final, Kerry versus Donegal. Look, the last 2 weeks, you have heard nothing about Kerry.
No.
If you were looking at the TV, if you were listening to the radio, it was Jimmy McGuinness and his boys from Donegal. And there's going to be a statue erected of Jimmy. Jimmy is turning water into wine. Jimmy is then going to feed all the masses of people that come back after the All-Ireland final back to Donegal. He's going to feed them with the loaves and the fishes. Yeah. And then he's going to rise again on the third day and go on the beer again. But Kerry, Kerry didn't hear that story, and why would they? Because they're Kerry.
No.
37 All-Ireland finals.
It's 37 All-Ireland titles, probably 60 odd All-Ireland finals. I think they've lost as many as they've won, but they listen, right off Kerry at your peril, I think is the lesson on this. You know, it's absolutely I was up at the game, and as an event, it was brilliant. It was thoroughly enjoyable, I have to say. And right, the football mightn't have been for the purists, but I still believe that Gaelic football is going to go that way. It's going to go to the point where it's going to get so tactical, and it's kind of it has to go that way for the simple reason that you're going to have some teams who aren't at the same level of ability as other teams, so they have to try and level the playing field by using tactics.
Well, just as you mentioned that's the point that I'm coming to, is that Jimmy McGuinness is, as we all know, an absolutely fantastic tactician and a manager, right? Absolutely brilliant. He is. Kerry found out 3 weeks ago that they were going to be facing Donegal in the final. Kerry went, and for 3 weeks, well, obviously they would have been working on this a lot longer, but we'll say for the last 3 weeks, we have to go to Donegal style of play. They bet Donegal on their own style of play. And Jimmy McGuinness, again, he would have went through every eventuality that would have happened on the pitch. He would have been so thorough in his work and the whole lot. But there's no way he could have accounted for Donaghy and Donoghue coming out the pitch.
No.
There's no way he could have.
Well, like, if he had have been preparing his whole team looking at that, then the players wouldn't have bought into it. They would have been going, wait, now you're mad, because why would they change everything up just to change? And it worked. It was a masterstroke by Fitzmaurice.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I have to say, absolutely well commended him.
I thought that the two key things that Fitzmaurice done was, one, told O'Mahony to go out and stay with Murphy and don't give him an inch. Absolutely tear him out the field. If he gets on ball, tackle him, keep him there. And he done that brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly. I thought the second thing that he done, which was the masterstroke, was James O'Donoghue coming out. And nobody saw that. People thought maybe Donaghy might come out, and then they thought that maybe, you know, that James O'Donoghue been left in, and if Donaghy with the aerial threat goes a wee bit further out, or, you know, people had thought of all the eventualities, not to bring the two of them out, but James O'Donoghue played really as a third midfielder.
And he played brilliant. He was the new Gooch, the way he was spraying ball. Like, some of his passes were phenomenal. Like.
Yeah, in fairness, and I just thought overall Fitzmaurice got his matchups right. He even got his team selection right, to the point where, look what he brought off the bench, and look at the impact the players that he brought off the bench had. You
Sheehan's 45 and stuff like that.
Yeah, outside the crucial, you know, Barry John Keane scoring a point there as well. Like, he had it right. Jim McGuinness is an absolute genius when it comes to tactics and whatnot, but I do think he got this wrong. He got it badly wrong. I've been saying it for a long time. Christy Toy should have started. McBearty.
Although, having said that, McBrearty came on, he had a stormer when he came on, he kicked 2 points, and then he kicked 2 very simple ones.
Yes, he did. Well, I wouldn't say they were very simple.
For the player of his calibre.
But where my big gripe would be, I wouldn't say big gripe, but my opinion, it was going into the game that McFadden shouldn't have started. McFadden wasn't fit to start. He hasn't played well all year. And it brings back this argument that people were saying last year about Jim McGuinness, the masterclass that he is, and him saying that it doesn't matter how bad McFadden's playing, I'm going to leave him on all the time because he's my go-to man. He has not produced at this championship at all. He got a goal against Dublin. Other than that, there was nothing.
If McFadden, I felt sorry for him, because if he was playing well, if Colin McFadden was playing well this year, that ball that dropped to him at the end of the game, there was at least 2 feet of goal to slap it into. Maybe 18 inches, and he would have got that no problem. But a man low in confidence, last touch of the game, just hadn't done anything for the whole game. all of a sudden gone in to try and slap that into the net, and it hit the bottom of the post. He was trying to be too precise, and I felt sorry for him. Also, I have to give a mention to Paul Durkin, a fantastic goalkeeper.
Yeah.
You know, and I he's a character as well. He's a great lad, and I felt so sorry for him. But again, that was down to the work that Fitzmaurice had done on their kickouts.
Well, especially in the second half, because I heard Kieran Donaghy this evening talking about the that at half time they were told that they had lost 80% of Donegal's kickouts. So they were told they had to start to take gambles, you know, decide as he's doing the half a step to run up to the ball, go to a player. Just take a gamble and go to a player. And that's how it worked out for him. Now, if you'd watched the build-up, Durkin was like this, and he puts the hand down, and he's like this again. The sun was in his eyes, and he wasn't 100% confident with the kick out. Donegal set up their full-back line, on their full-back line, basically on the 20-metre line. They had two on the sideline, one either side on the sideline, two where the D meets the 20-metre line, and one at the top of the D for the kickouts. And they were standing. They were standing there, and then there was pockets left and right on the 45-metre line that they could kick into, that Durkin could kick into. But more often than not, he went to one of those 5 players for his kick out.
Yeah.
Now, that was a silly tactic for me.
Well, number one, you never go short down the middle. You go short left or right, because then if it breaks down, at least you've got players in the middle that can get back and tackle, and maybe you can concede a point. But if you lose the ball straight in front of your goals from a kick out, it's
Kieran
a goal
Donaghy.
chance, and especially to a man of his calibre. And I was delighted for Kieran Donaghy, like, there's a lot been said of him in the last couple of years.
Brilliant.
But he was outstanding.
And I was also delighted for him for the simple reason that during the week people were talking about the man Kieran Donaghy and him being dropped last year, and been dropped for a lot of games this year and struggling with injury. But the whole time through the years, the last 2 years, when it was questions were being asked of him, he never ratted, he never got narky. He was all the time putting his hand around younger players and saying, "You're doing well, you're keeping me out of this team, boy, now you keep going," and that sort of an attitude, never trying to put the team or himself ahead of the team.
Yeah.
It was always him ahead of, or himself, the team ahead of himself, and that's a character that you need in a dressing room, and I'm delighted it came good for him, because a lot of the time you have lads like that, and what they'll do is they'll throw the toys out of the pram because they're the star and they're not getting playing. Kieran Donaghy knew that he's not bigger than Kerry, and no one man is bigger than any team. And it was a great story, I thought, overall.
Yeah.
And I loved the way he stuck at the Brolly. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. He's my new hero.
Yeah.
So
it was brilliant. It was so off the cuff as well.
Yeah.
It was just brilliant. Usually when a player is brought in at that, they've obviously been told, this is how you do a press interview and whatever, and they've been coached in some way or whatever. He went in and he was like going, "I'll tell you what, I'm going to say what I want to say."
And I loved it. I loved it because he stuck at the Brolly and then just walked. "I'm done. I've said what I'm going to say." And do you know what he actually done? Because we could see it on the big screen, but he basically done that, walked away, and he walked straight over to Michael Murphy. And Michael Murphy was on the ground with his head in his hands, just sitting with his knees up in front of him. And he sat down beside Michael Murphy, put his arm around him, and probably stayed for about the guts of a minute, just talking to Michael Murphy and patting him on the back and patting him on the chest. I just thought it was a lovely touch.
Yeah.
Measure
He gets
the
a
man.
lot of stick, but the lad, he's a Gaelic footballer, and he's what's good about Gaelic football, if you ask me. Yeah.
We better move on because we're running out of time. We have the Shorten Insurance Breffni All-Stars Team of the Week, and this is from the weekend of Friday the 12th of September until Sunday the 14th of September. So we'll start off there, and you can see that James Farley is the number one on the team. He starts in goal, and that was his performance against Rammer.
The boys are going to bring that up on the screen now, so they are for everybody to see. And also a good mention there goes to, an honourable mention goes to Joseph Donoghue of Lara.
Yeah, the full back line, the corner back there you see is Cormac McCabe
There
from
we go.
Arva, and that was for his performance against Templeport in the playoff.
Yeah, and we're number 3 in the fullback position on this week's Team of the Week is Shane O'Rourke from the Lara club for his game against Killincare. That's not Shane O'Rourke of Meath, though.
No, I don't think he's full back for Lara. The full-back line is completed by cornerback Mark McGee from Rammer, and that was for his performance against Kingscourt. And Liam O'Reilly gets an honourable mention there from Shercock.
Mark McGee, any relation to the two McGees playing the full back line for Donegal?
I don't know.
Okay, then we'll come back to that. If anybody out there knows, could you just let us know? Thank you very much. Wearing number 5, playing wing back, is Damien McIntyre of Shercock for his performance against Belturbet. And an honorary mention goes to Stephen Murray of Cavan Gales, younger brother of Niall.
Yeah, a very good performance there by Stephen as well. The centre half back position goes to the captain of the Cavan senior team, Alan Clark from Kings Court, and that was for his performance against Rammer. And Kevin Shanahy from Lacken gets honourable mention.
Yeah, in fairness, Alan Clark had a great game that day against Kings Court. Now, he had a poor first half, against Rammer from Kings Court. Poor first half, but in fairness, Niall Lynch got everything right at half time, and he made a lot of changes, and Alan Clark came into it and he was absolutely outstanding. Wearing number 7 goes to Kieran Brady of Arva for his performance against Templeport, and an honourable mention there goes to Barry Tully of Kings Court.
In the middle of the field you have Noel McGovern from Killincare, and that was for his performance against Lara, and an honourable mention goes to Torlock Mooney from Red Hills.
Wearing number 9 in the middle of the field is Donald Thomas from Killygarry, and it's for his performance against Cucullins. An honourable mention goes to Killian Clark of Shercock.
Well done to Noel and Donald there for keeping out 2 county men.
Yes,
that team. So
that's right.
That shows how good the performances were. The half forward line starts with Jonathan McCabe from Arva for his performance against Templeport, and young Paul Leddy, the minor, gets honourable mention for his performance against Cavan Gales. But Jonathan McCabe is absolutely on fire at the minute.
He is indeed. He's
I
flying.
don't know
and
what's going up on the screen there?
He's after losing something there on the screen.
We can go back to us. That's perfect.
Wearing number 11 at centre half forward is Connor Smith of Cucullins. We've talked about that man plenty of times on the show. He's an absolutely fantastic footballer, and it's for his performance against Killygarry. Honourable mention goes to Enda Henry of Belturbet.
Yeah, for performance against Shercock as well. So again from Belturbet there we have Brendan Fitzpatrick. He makes up the half forward line wearing number 12, and that was his performance against Shercock. Honourable mention goes to Declan Meehan from Cavan Gales.
Wearing number 13, starting off our full forward line, is Andy Graham of Cavan Gales, and it's for his performance against Lacken. An honourable mention goes to Brian Clark, the veteran from Killincare.
Indeed, the veteran. I like it. Full forward line, another veteran. The full forward is Finbar O'Reilly from Lacken, and that was for his performance against Cavan Gales on the drawn game. And honourable mention goes to Conor Mina from Drumgoon for his performance against Red Hills.
I think that's the second time that Finbar O'Reilly has made it into the team of the week. Well done to Finbar, doing his bit for us veterans. And finishing off the team in corner forward is Andy Corcoran of Kings Court for his game against Rammer United, and Niall Clerkin gets an honourable mention. Anthony Corcoran there. The young McGowan fella playing for Kings Court, just as we get on to that, just as we mentioned Kings Court, he's from Leitrim, so he is. And
how does that work?
He's living in Kings Court, or he's going out with a girl from Kings Court, and he's playing absolutely fantastic stuff at the minute, so he is for them. It's just I got talking to a man last night and he was telling me about him, so
very good.
One to watch out for.
The player of the week for the week from September 10th to September 12th is James the Snake Farley, of course, our friend on the show. He gets it because he kept Kings Court in the match in the first half with 3 outstanding saves. So well done to James. Do you know when he was on the show and we were saying about Gilly, calling him your boy from Love Hate, what's?
Nidge.
Not Nidge, the
other. The other boy. Yes.
We were slagging him.
Yes.
I was watching RTE, and James, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I was watching the ad on RTE. I figured out the character that James is on RTE.
Who is it?
Which one is it? It's either Damo or Ivor. Which is the one with the hair up here and the collars up? That's James the Snake. I think he's Ivor.
Right. Damo,
yes.
Damo, I know.
He's Ivor.
Ivor, yes.
Ivor with the hair.
Ivor Farley, yeah.
Yes.
I'm Ivor Farley,
We're going with Ivor.
Yeah.
So sorry about that, James, but I seen it and I thought of you.
Brilliant. And the manager of the week from September the 10th until September the 12th, again going to Kings Court, Niall Lynch, for what can only be considered a master stroke at half time in that game against Rammer. They were losing by 4 points, 6 points, and they should have been losing by more. At half time, I was talking to a man who was in the dressing room, or was near the dressing room. Niall Lynch didn't lose the plot of Ratton when he went in at half time.
That's not his-
Turned
that's
around
not
and he
his
said,
game.
lads, come here, we need to make a few changes, but don't worry, we're going to win this game. And
Brilliant.
he made, I think he made 8 changes, brought on 2 subs and made 6 positional changes. And Kings Court went out and won the game at a canter in the second half nearly.
Well done to Niall, and deservedly so, manager of the week. And then the referee of the week is Noel Mooney for
What?
Cavan Gales
How did he win that?
for his performance against with the Lacken Belturbet, the replay, the second game.
Shercock and Belturbet replay.
Sorry, Shercock and Belturbet replay.
Yeah.
So well done to Noel Mooney. And Noel is a very good referee, I have to say.
In fairness, no disrespect to any other referees in the county, but I do think that Noel Mooney is by far the best referee in the county. And
Yeah, I wouldn't go
you're
so
not
far
good.
as to say by far, but
I
I
would.
do think he's a very, very good referee. There are
no,
some
he
very
is.
good
He's
referees
excellent.
across the
He's
county.
very good. So he is, and he's a gentleman as well. Apart from being a Liverpool supporter, but look, we all have our problems.
Yes, you do. So that brings us to the end of this week's show. Remember, if you want to get in contact with your views, we'd be delighted to hear from you.
You can email us at GaelicFootballViews@gmail.com. You can
Go on.
You can follow us on Twitter at GaelicFE, or you can find us on Facebook by searching Gaelic Football Views.
Yeah, our thanks to Elaine McHugh Cully for sending us the information on St. Fimbers.
What is her, like, is she McHugh or is she Cully?
Listen, I don't know, but I'd also like to say a big hello to Barry Cully McHugh.
Yeah, is he Cully or McHugh?
I don't know, listen. I don't know who wears the
What-
trousers there.
I come here. What is Barney's second name at this stage? Is he Cully or McHugh?
He's Barney Blue Hat.
Barney Blue Hat. He
Barney
is
Blue
indeed.
Hat.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, our thanks also. Our thanks also to the man that doesn't behave. That's Dave, obviously, in the control room there. So thanks to Dave and to Paul for their help in producing the show. So until next week, it's good night and
Oh, God bless.
Morning, Mickey.
What did you make of that game yesterday?
Oh, where do I start? Only for Ronan Flanagan. I can't believe Martin Riley missed that goal chance, you know. Him with a soccer background, I'd have expected him to keep it low on the carpet, but they blazed it over the bar. Very lucky to be able to bring on Michael Argue. Big man for the middle of the field, and him still under 21. You imagine, we got to an All-Ireland quarter-final last year, and that was without him, and without Gerard McKieran and these lads. Imagine what we can do this year with them all. The night that we got the first-round victory, it was absolutely amazing. When you think about it, we haven't won a first-round game in years. 6 points from play. You can't ask for much of a better return than that. But then the missed 6. Gilson in goals was playing brilliantly. Joshua Hayes, you couldn't replace him. Rory Dunn, outstanding. Killian the Gunner, absolutely brilliant. Fergus Flanagan was probably lucky to not get a black card. He got a yellow one instead. Jeez, I tell you what, Pete McGrath was raging after it, so he was. You know, after last year reaching the All-Ireland quarter-final, sure, everyone's Samsung Galaxy tablet from 149. That's pretty damn good. But, like, how's Terry Highland going to be able to keep their heads on the ground and not let them get blown up?
Hayes Expert, Cavan and Quithill, proud sponsors of Gaelic Football Views.
Look, at the end of the day, we got the 2 points, and isn't that all that really matters?
Yeah, but sure, look, I'll see you at the match later on.
I don't think I'll bother.